God.
All right, welcome to week number 1. Matt Morris here, and excited to be kicking off the Foundation for Network Marketing Success. And as we get into the content here, I'm going to start out with a warning. And the warning is to take this as seriously as I have. And here's the thing. I know a lot of times we want what's sexy. And what's sexy is the how-tos. You know, it's the scripts, it's the closing skills, the invitation, and presenting, all of those things. And listen, I'm going to give you no shortage of how-tos in this course. You're going to get a lot of that. But if we don't start out with the foundation, if I don't get into your mind, if I don't get into who you are as a person, I'm really doing a disservice to you. And so listen, the how-tos are never enough. It's all about the inner game. If how-tos were enough, we'd all be rich, skinny, and happy. So it is less about the how-tos, and it's really more about who you are as a person when it comes to becoming a millionaire in network marketing. And I'll just tell you, for me, becoming a millionaire in network marketing, if I look at what I had to do in order to make that happen, you know, the how-tos of it, the how-tos were really not that difficult. The most difficult thing by far was believing it could happen to me. I had to become the kind of person who could earn $1 million before I could ever have the check. And that's going to be true for you. You have to become a millionaire before you're ever going to get the money. You've got to become the top rank in your company before you ever get the pin. See, it's never about, you know, once I have the results, then I'll become the person. You have to become the person first before you'll ever have the results. It's kind of like when I meet people and they say, man, you know, if I only had my dream spouse, then I'd be happy. Listen, chances are your dream spouse, they already want someone who is already happy. So become happy so you can attract that person. And this is all about foundation. And here's a quote that I want you to write down. I want you to never forget this the rest of your career in network marketing. But that is to build a really tall building, you have to dig a really deep foundation. And
do you see why having our notebooks is so important? He's talking about writing, and then I don't know, many of us, we are not writing. We're actually in a school here, okay? And I remember, I believe you heard what he said earlier. How to is not that important as you becoming. Becoming a millionaire in this industry, in this business, is about who you become. Yes, you have to become first before you can earn. Do you believe that you can become someone that can earn millions of dollars in this business? You have to believe it. It's about the inner game. That's the most important. So please, I really want us to pay attention and then write down the things he said we should write down.
And I'll tell you, my foundation phase was a lot longer than I wanted. It was over 5 years before I got to a full-time income.
Wow.
But what happened along that journey, I have to look back at it now and I have to be grateful, because I know if I hadn't gone through that struggle, if I didn't spend so much time working on myself through personal development, through, you know, reading books, through going to seminars, through all of the things that I did, I don't think I'd end up having the kind of success that I've had today. And I am kind of a simple guy. I like to break it down to basics. And so the formula for success is pretty simple. Your success and your wealth is going to be equal to your financial vehicle multiplied by your effort, multiplied by your skill. And so, you know, I believe the financial vehicle of network marketing is the greatest financial vehicle in the world. There's no other profession in the world that allows you to make the kind of money that you can make, have the kind of time freedom, and be able to spend your life just helping other people. And so you are in the right profession. Then it boils down to your effort and your skill. And we're going to talk more about the financial vehicle of network marketing in another module. We're going to talk about effort. I'm going to go through the numbers of what you'll have to go through, in my opinion, if you want to go out and produce $1 million results. And then the final thing is skill. And I just commend you. I applaud you for investing in this program, in this 7-week coaching program, because it is going to put you in the top 1% of all network marketers in the world.
Did you hear that? Going through training, this training now, we put you in the 1% of the 1%. Can you imagine that? Going through this training, we put you in the 1% of the 1%. Let me tell you, just very few persons are disciplined enough to go through trainings as this. And that's why those very few persons are the one that has greatest chances of becoming multi millionaires in the business.
You are going to be part of the elite of the elite. So do not sell yourself short and skip out on any of the lessons. Do not skip out on any of the modules, because, you know, at the end, I'm going to give you marching orders that are going to create tangible results for you, in my opinion. And if you skip the modules, if you skip this foundation building phase, it is not going to work for you like you really want it to. And so as I go through this, again, it may not be the sexiest thing in the world, but in my opinion, it is the most important. And what I want to jump into here is the lifestyle success formula, and it really kind of boiling down what to expect. Now, I owned my own network marketing company for almost 5 years, and I ended up hiring a retention firm. And what they do is they go out and they've surveyed thousands and thousands of people who have quit network marketing. And the number one reason why people quit network marketing is because of false expectations. You know, they expected it to be easy, and when it wasn't easy like they expected, they quit. They gave up. And this is a career plan. In fact, I think I heard this from Eric Worre the first time, but it's the 1357 career plan, which basically says if you're new to network marketing, it's going to take you about a year to just figure out what you're doing. It's going to take you a year to become competent. And what this course is all about, it's about shortening and lessening the learning curve. It's about collapsing these time frames. But for the average person, it takes about a year just to figure it out. It takes about 3 to 5 years to get to a full-time income. It takes about 5 to 7 years to get to a 6 to multiple 6 figures per year. And it takes about 7 to 10 years to become world class. And, you know, these numbers, obviously there is no guarantee. If I look at my background in network marketing, after a year, I probably was not real competent. It took me about a little over 5 years to get full time. Now I got started at 18 and I had a lot of growth that I needed to go through. But what happened was between 5 to 7 years, I got to a multiple 6-figure a year income. And then within 7 to 10 years, I really felt like I was world class. Like I could just, if I had to start from scratch and do it all over again, I could do that. And a quick note here, this plan works only if you really show up. If you are, number one, learning, if you're putting in the effort, if you're attending events, if you're doing all the things necessary, you know, these are some of the numbers that I think you should expect. Now, if you believe you can do it a lot sooner, let's go for it. There's no reason why it has to take this long, but what I'm saying essentially is sometimes you have to be a little bit patient with yourself. And so, you know, this is a quick visual of really what people expect success in network marketing to look like. It's like I get in, I'm going to produce some activity, I'm going to get instant results, and then all of a sudden I'm going to be living this amazing lifestyle. And those of you, if you've been in network marketing for any amount of time, you realize it may not, you know, exactly work exactly this way. And here's a quick visual that, again, the first couple sections here, Eric Worre actually drew this out for me. And he said, what success in network marketing actually looks like is more like this. And you can see the curve there of activity leading to results, leading to lifestyles. And what it really all boils down to is a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And it's one thing to look at this and understand it logically, but here's where the challenge is. If you look at that first area on the left where the activity is, it just doesn't seem to matter. You know, you're putting in all of this effort and you're not reaping the benefits. And it's one of the things that's true in network marketing, like is true in traditional business. If you're starting a business, there's usually some time that you have to put in before you turn a profit. And, you know, the average business, you're looking at 2 to 5 years before you turn a profit. In network marketing, you know, people are upset if they don't turn a profit their first week. And so, you know, that's the challenge. It's like I'm doing all this work, and I'm not getting paid. And if you carry through with the program, you notice the growth curve all of a sudden kind of goes way up, doesn't it? And it's that consistent effort over time. Now, if you look at the formula for failure, it's a few errors in judgment repeated every day. And again, it doesn't really seem to matter. If you're, you start off making a few errors in judgment, it doesn't seem to matter. It's kind of like with your body. If you're eating a greasy, fattening cheeseburger and you do that, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row, it doesn't really seem to matter. It's not like you put on a bunch of weight, but if you consistently do that every single day, if you're eating, greasy cheeseburgers and chocolate bars and fattening foods, you do that consistently over time, and that is going to lead to negative results in your body. And kind of like success with working out, you go to the gym and it's like, man, I worked out really work, get paid, work, get paid, work to 100 people and it goes down to 60. And this is the valley of death for most network marketers. This is what takes most people out of the game. Well, actually, most people never even get started. But for those that do get started, I didn't really understand this. It's because I spent so long working on my foundation. It would come to me and understand your belief, the activity, and I would just call results. You're programmed. And your mind is, needs some cleanup in some cases. And so we've got to focus on the belief system, change who they are, how to reprogram themselves, and, how to, in a way, you could call it brainwashing. Am I saying you have to brainwash people? In a way, yes, their minds are dirty. Your mind is, needs some cleanup in some cases. And so we've got to focus on the programming. That is the root of everything, is the programming. So let's get into how you're programmed. And so there's 3 main ways that you have been programmed. And again, this programming leads to your belief. The beliefs lead to everything else. And so the first way is flat out your experiences. So maybe your success and failures. So maybe you've been involved in network marketing for a number of years, and maybe you failed in the past. And what most people would tend to believe is that if they failed in the past, they're not a good network marketer. Maybe you've been in network marketing for 5 or 6 years like I was, and you still haven't, hit the home run. You still haven't gotten to a full-time income. And that could lead you to just look bad upon yourself and say, you know what, I'm not a good network marketer. And you could also look at childhood circumstances. I've shared some of my childhood in the intro video. I grew up with a father who went to prison, was an alcoholic, would leave me I remember had left me at baseball practice, forgot to pick me up one day, left me stranded at the library. I had to run home in the rain as a 10-year-old boy. I had things like that happen that affected my belief system about my self-worth. He committed suicide when I was 13 years old. And I felt like, wow, if my father really loved me, then he wouldn't have he wouldn't have abandoned me like that. And so, I had a kind of a warped belief system about myself. I was in school, I was the kid who finished in the half of the class that made the top half possible, not the sharpest tool in the shed. And so I never believed that I was a very smart person. And,
I hope we understand this stage very well. I hope you understand what he's talking about. He's talking about our programming. What's going to affect our results on a larger scale is our programming, what we've chosen to believe about ourselves. What we've chosen to believe about yourselves. Okay? That will go a long way. It's not about the skill. It's not about the skill. It's about what is here. And how do we get programmed? We get programmed first through our what? Personal experiences, our successes and our failures. And truth still remains, your past experiences and things you've gone through in the past of what others have gone through in the past has nothing to do with what you can do tomorrow. I can't believe I'm the one doing what I'm doing today. I can't believe that. I can't. No wonder my mentor taught me early in life, and he said, you don't know how much you can become until you try. And our life expands and shrinks within the confinement of, or rather the level of risk we are willing to take. Anytime you are stretching yourself beyond what you know, you are growing, you are expanding. That's how much your life will expand. Some of you will be so shocked what this business will turn you into if you are willing to allow it to change you. Because that's what I'm doing here. Permit me to tell you, I'm here to brainwash you with good information. Why? Because many of us here, our minds are dirty with failures, bad experiences, feeling not adequate, and all those, and those things will surely affect us. It happened to me. You have to rid yourself of all those negative programming, all those negative mental assets that we've built up from our past experiences and from our environment. It's very important we get that. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to clean us off of the what? Of the negative programming. That's what I'm here to do. So I want you, as you are listening, you can pick those things that you can, maybe you can remember those things, you know, those voices you always hear of not being good enough, of not being adequate, of not being someone that can become a millionaire. No, as you're going through this training, pick those things out and then deal with them. Because what we are doing here today is to prepare your mind first before we can get into the scale acquisition that will require us to become, that will make us to become very successful.
I also never had a lot of friends. You know, that was an experience that I had growing up. I was never Mr. Popular. I never had many friends at all. I was always shy. I felt like a very awkward communicator. And so based on those experiences, that shaped my belief system and made me, you know, really not think that I was capable of creating huge results in network marketing. Now, the other way that you're programmed is through external influences. So your friends, your family members, maybe your culture, you're programmed through the media. You know, the media will strike fear in you that, you know, it's not safe to go out. It's not safe to talk to other people. You know, religion, education, there's so many different external forces that shape who you are, things that your parents said about you or family members said about you growing up. Maybe it's things that, you know, your mom or dad said you were shy. And so, you know, you took that on to be true. And I'm going to give you just a story about an experience. And, you know, for me, and going back a little bit, you know, I had an experience of failing in business. I started a marketing company online, ended up having a lot of success, and long story short, ended up $100,000 in debt. I ended up having to lay off one of my really good friends, and, you know, not a real fun experience. And I remember that day just looking at myself and feeling like a total failure. And I had to choose at that moment. Luckily, I had understood how the belief systems work at this point. And I said, I've got to consciously choose what I'm going to believe about this experience. And I said, I can choose to believe I'm a bad business person and I can not really reach for the, you know, kind of lifestyle and the goals that I really want. Or I can just choose to believe that, you know, this will make me a better business person. And I said, you know what, I've got to choose the latter. And I said, this is going to make me better because I know what not to do. And, you know, getting back to external, to tell you a quick story about how something external programming affected me. I was in 6th grade in school, and, you know, in athletics class, we had to run this 1-mile race, and it was 6 laps around this track. And I ran, I was, you know, in the race, and about 100 kids. After the 3rd lap, I was in maybe 10th or 11th place. I was towards the front of the pack, and I was kind of excited because I was never a super athlete growing up, nothing like that. And I just said, I remember thinking to myself, like, all right, I'm going to see if I can win the race. And so I decided for the next 3 laps, I was going to run as hard as I possibly could. And so I gave it my all. I mean, I just ran as hard as I could. And what happened was I ended up finishing in 2nd place. Now, 2nd place out of 100 kids, when I had never been a great athlete before, I was super excited. And the one, you know, kid that beat me, he was like the superstar athlete. And so I remember being so proud of myself, so excited. And I came home after school that day, and I went and told my mom. I said, Mom, we ran a 1-mile race, and out of 100 kids, I finished 2nd. And the only kid who beat me was Johnny, and Johnny's like the best athlete in school. And my mom, you know, being a loving mom, she put her arms around me and she said, oh, sweetie, I'm so proud of you. That's amazing, because our family, we're just not good runners at all. And then it just immediately, I took that on to be true. And I was like, I'm not a good runner. And now I remember thinking as an impressionable young boy, I wonder why. And I remember thinking, I wonder if it's like our knees, or I wonder if it's just our muscles. I didn't know why I wasn't a good runner, but Mom told me our family are not good runners at all. And so guess how many races I tried to win after that? I didn't even try. I didn't even try to win another race because I believed that I was not a good runner. Now, the experience proved that I was. Based on experience, I was a good runner, but based on an external force programming me, I believe that I wasn't. And so you have to be amazingly mindful of external programming in your life. And, you know,
I had to pause this to say something here, very, very vital. Oh, see Chiamaka Aloke. Wow. Chiamaka, unmute yourself. Chiamaka, quickly unmute yourself. How are you? Chiamaka, how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Wow. I didn't even notice when you connected.
I'm fine, sir.
I'm fine. Wow. Yes. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. So I had to stop this because I really want us to take note of this. While I was growing up, my mom and my dad, they told me that we don't do business in our family. That's what they told me. And as I was growing up, personally, I hated anything like civil service because they were all civil servants. And I didn't like the fact that we don't eat ice cream and eat some good things just like other families do. And someone like me, I love good life right from the time I was small. And I made up my mind that I'm going to do business. It's as if, as at that time, I hated the fact that, I have to wake up and then someone will be fixing salary for me. I'm just trying to be sincere. Even as a young guy, as a young boy, then I found out that people that have shops, that do some businesses, they can, you can buy something 10 naira and then you can sell it for 30 naira. I will follow my mother to the market and she will be pricing things. And I'll ask, why are you pricing? She'll be like, if you don't price, they will put money. You say, I say, if they put money, don't buy now. She say, no, that sometimes you may not know. So in my mind, I got to know that, so it's possible for someone to buy something, a soap, 10 naira, and sell it and decide to sell it for 50 naira. I'm telling you. So, that capitalist mentality entered into me and I made up my mind I'll do business. But while I was doing business, I encountered so many challenges. And I will tell you one of the things I fought in my life. One of the battles I fought in my life is those words my father and my mother were speaking to my ears. We don't do business in our family. So I felt that it was like a curse for me to do business. Why am I saying this? We must be very, very mindful of the negative programmings, especially the ones that comes from the outside. So what I decided to do was that I stopped communicating with my parents on anything that has to do with my business. I told myself, if I'm going to succeed, I'm going to surround myself with people that are going the same direction with me. I have to shut down on all negativities. And I want to let you know, if you have to succeed in this business, you must shut your mind down on any negative programming, even from internally and externally, coming from people you love. There are some persons that you have to come to a place where you have to tell them, I'm sorry, but you can't be saying this to my ears. It's very important you understand that.
The law of association is so true. If you take your 5 best friends and you average the amount of money that they have in their bank account, that is almost to the dollar how much you have in your bank account.
Very true.
You are who you hang around with.
Yes.
My friend and mentor Les Brown, he says it best. He said, if you hang around with 9 broke friends, guess what? You're the 10th. So you have to be mindful. And if you've got external forces that are negatively programming you, that are saying negative things, then listen to me when I say this. You deserve to be treated the way that you allow yourself to be treated. I'm going to say it again. You deserve to be treated the way that you allow yourself to be treated. If you're allowing someone to speak negative about you, you deserve to have that happen. And so you have got to have a backbone. Don't have a wishbone where a backbone ought to be. You've got to stand up for yourself and you've got to correct people. I had someone in my life one time when I told them about my goal of going out and being a millionaire and I was going to produce this big organization, and this person laughed like I was just the most ridiculously stupid person in the world. Now, I got mad, and maybe it's a little bit of that personality coming out, but I remember I had to tell that person, I said, listen, if I love you, but don't ever say something like that about me again. Because he laughed and he basically alluded to the fact that that would never happen. And so I just had to tell him not to ever say something like that again about me. And guess what? He didn't. So he respected me from that point on because I respected myself. And there are times when you may have to have a season of separation. There may be, people in your life who you love and care about. And I've got people in my life that I love and care about, but I just don't spend that much time with them because I can't afford to have negative people, negative forces externally programming me, because I know the law of association is true. And sometimes that external programming, it may be someone as close to you as your spouse. And there may be, times when you've got to stand up for yourself and you have to just say to them, listen, I love you with all my heart. And I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm not asking you to build this business with me, but what I am asking you to do is respect me. What I am asking you to do is not speak negative to me. I married you because I want a partner who's going to support me in going after my goals and my dreams. Can I count on you for that? And see, if you don't have those crucial conversations, they will just not respect you until you stand up for yourself and respect yourself. Now, the third way that you're programmed, and this is by far the most powerful way that you're programmed, it's your internal programming. It's what you say and what you think about yourself. And the way the mind works, it almost works like a computer. Every keystroke on your computer gets registered in a registry. And it's the same thing. Every thought, everything that you say gets registered into your mind. And now, I'm not going to go through the depths of this right now. I could create a whole another course on, programming of the mind, but you've got your conscious mind and you've got your subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is infinitely more powerful than your conscious mind. And your subconscious mind, think of that as your identity. Your identity, it's who you are, or better stated, it's who you really what you really believe you deserve to have. And, the way that my programming, the way it worked, what I really believed about myself was that I was a hard worker. That was a good thing. I believed I was a hard worker, but I was also not the sharpest tool in the shed. I felt like I was too young to do network marketing. And, I was broke. I was a bad communicator, and I was shy. I had all of these things that I was constantly professing to myself, that I was thinking about myself, and a lot of times saying to myself. And, I would say things like, gosh, why am I so broke? And listen, what I learned is the quality of your life is based on the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. So every time I ask myself, why am I so broke? Or why am I such an idiot? Then your subconscious mind has to come up with an answer. And that's not an answer that you want to have. That's not a question that you want to create an answer for. And so here's the thing. Your subconscious does not understand the difference between a truth and a lie. It simply acts upon the programming given to it to carry out actions and results based on the identity that the subconscious creates. And so realize you are a sum total of what you have said and thought about yourself over all of the years.
Did you hear what he said? You are a sum total of what you say and believe about yourself over the years. Remember, what we are doing here is to reprogram our mind. No wonder the Bible talked about being transformed by the renewing of your mind. The only way we can enjoy lifelong transformation in any area of our lives is for us to renew our mind. What you constantly say about yourself and believe about yourself creates your reality. It creates your reality. I'm going to give you a perfect example. Someone was speaking to me, and one of the people I'm mentoring in the Millionaire School, and it was like, Mr. Nonso, I'm not too good. All this internet thing. I'm not too like him. And I said, come on. Tell me anything you were born in this world with. Tell me any knowledge you were born in this world with. That's putting a limitation on your capability. That's telling yourself, I can't go this level. A business that cannot leverage on technology today, why are you on Zoom? Can you imagine if there was no Zoom? Can you imagine that? I would just be sending out things for us to be watching on WhatsApp. You can't communicate with me one-on-one. We can't even chat. What if there is no WhatsApp? What if there were no emails? What if there was no internet? Can you imagine how rough life was then? So how come you are saying, I'm not this internet person, I'm not this, all this? Someone will tell me, I'm not all this talking kind of person. Can you imagine? But when you talk about fashion, you can talk. When you want to talk about sports, Manchester United, your voice will be on top of the roof. When you want to talk about the politics, oh my God, Yemi Osibanjo, oh, Baba Buhari, this one, that one. You'll be quoting the law from back to front. But yet he didn't study law. He didn't study political science. Never. It is a matter of interest. I don't want you to put a lead on yourself on how much you can do and how much you can become. Because what you constantly say about yourself, I don't. Be careful of the things you put after I. I don't. I can't. I will not. Be very careful of those things, because those things are the things that define you. I cannot. I will not. I can't. Be very careful of the things you put after the word I. They are very, very important. Why am I saying this? Because by the time we get into building our business now, and then we'll start working on sharing information, connecting people, trust me, these things will come to play. Yes, they will come to play. Some of us may start getting results immediately. Some of us, we may start having delayed results, and we'll be like, what's going on? It's like it's not for me. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine saying that to yourself? Instead of you telling yourself, this business, I will work it until it works. The same way I told my father, and I said, I'm going to work this business. I'm going to work business until it works for me. I'm not dropping being an entrepreneur because he wanted me to be a lecturer. Can you imagine saying that to yourself? Some persons, oh, they are getting wonderful results over a period of time. After some time, it's as if the thing will start dropping down. Just like in every business, there's always a summer and there's always a winter. And one of the things I've learned in life is never to cut a date tree in the winter. When things are not moving so well, they are the worst period to make decisions. They are not the best time to make decisions. So everything we are learning here will be put to test with it. I want you to put them to heart. Be mindful of your personal programming, your internal programming, the things you say about yourself and the things you think about yourself. Do you see yourself as a super champion, as someone that must succeed in this business, or do you see yourself as someone that is not meant to succeed in the business? Be mindful of that. Let's continue.
And because I grew up always being poor, I grew up with, a mom working 2 and 3 jobs to work her way through college and work her way through law school. And, my mom is a huge inspiration for me, because by the time I got to high school, she actually got her law degree. She became an attorney. She's actually a judge today. And so she's a huge inspiration for me. And here's what happened is when she became an attorney and I was in high school, she still had to work a part-time job selling cosmetics in the mall, even though she was an attorney, because she got a job as basically an entry-level attorney and wasn't making great income. She wanted to live in a nice neighborhood so she could send me to a good school. And so my programming was, no matter how hard you work, no matter what you go through, money is hard to come by. Now, there's no real truth to that other than that's what I experienced and that's what I took on to be true. And so that's what I was always saying to myself, gosh, I'm so broke. And every time I said, gosh, I'm so broke, it became even more of my identity. So even though I didn't want those results, I was actually forcing myself to be broke because of what I was saying about myself. So we're literally hung by the tongue. And so what you have to do is you have to discipline your thoughts and your words. And this is an ongoing process. I have understood this for, well over 10 years, around 15 years. I've really understood this. And I still today have to catch myself. And, I still today have to, when I say something or think something disempowering, then I have to change that and say, wow, that's not like me at all. Normally I am XYZ something positive. So so you have to tons of times it's belief in yourself. Now it was hard for me because I was so conditioned to do that. I did it over and over and over. So you have to be mindful of that. You've got to be disciplined about what you say and what you think about yourself. And so let's carry on beliefs.
All right. So at this point in time, let's share. Let's exchange ideas together. I'm going to be unmuting us one after the other. Can you share with me on the aspect of programming our mind? What aspect of this programming affected you so much? One of the ones that affected me so much is external programming and internal programming. Yes, I didn't have much of the experience of success and failure or whatever. No, the one I had so much was the external programming. People telling me you can't become a businessman and succeed. People telling me that it's businessmen that have high blood pressure, that they never have peace, that this and that, and then internal programming of not, getting myself to a place where I believe that I can succeed. These are the ones that affected me so much. So I really want us to share among each other, share with me your personal experience, okay? Which programming do you think that you have today that you have to let go of yourself in order to become a millionaire in this business? Madam Chiamaka Aloke, please go ahead and unmute yourself and share with us.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, Madam Chiamaka. Hello, did you hear me?
Yes, I'm there.
All right. So yeah. So which of the programming are you going to be working on so that it doesn't hinder you from succeeding in this business? Internal programming, the words you say about yourself. There was a time I used to be like that, saying negative things about myself and stuff like that. Okay. And then I was listening to naysayers a lot. People that talk down on my business and my career, I was listening to them. So what do you have to say about that? You have nothing to say?
Sir?
You have nothing to say?
It's internal programming.
Wow, yours is internal programming. So
yes,
can you share with me, what are the things you've been saying to yourself in the past that you have to change from? What are the things you've been saying to yourself in the past that you are going to be changing from today henceforth? What are those things?
I have not really get where I want to be.
Okay.
So for this one, my husband wanted to discourage me. I said no, that I must do it.
Wow, that's external programming. Now, let me ask you a question. What aspect, what was his reason for you not to do it? What was the reason? That's the main thing.
Because he said anything online is a scamming.
You see that? You see that? Generalization is a scam, but don't worry. By the time I give you your pickup slip, okay, within the week, and then you go to the pickup center and see something very, very gangatic, okay, then I want you, by the time you take pictures there, you go home with some of your free hampers, with some of your freebies. You go home and go and show him. You go home and go and show him. Yes. Okay, so that at least he will see. That's one of the things that, I used to be like that. Anything online is a scam. Anything online is a scam. You wouldn't want to go all out. And with such mentality, even when you get started, you will not succeed. So, man, what I want to let you know is this. See those things you are hearing from your husband. Look at the powerful thing about programming. Trust me, a time will come in this business when those things will come back. My husband said I should not do it. I'm doing it. I don't know, say I go work like this. So now, wow, is that what it takes to start earning millions in the business? Those things will start coming back to you. That's one bad thing about programming. That's the reason why do not allow yourself to be programmed at all. Never. So don't allow people saying negative things to where you are. Especially people you know you can control, and tell them, please, I don't want to say this thing about myself and about my business. The best thing you can do for me in this business is to encourage me and tell me I can make it and I will make it. That's the best thing. All right, thank you so much for sharing. Mr. Edward Tengi, can you share with us the programming that affected you so much that you're telling us today you're going to deal with? Is it the external programming, or is it the experiences and programming from experiences, or is it internal programming that has to do with what you say to yourself and how you think about yourself? Mr. Edward Tengi, can you go ahead and unmute yourself? Let's hear from you. Go ahead now.
Yeah. Okay, mine is on the experience.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Hello. Hello?
Yes, go ahead. We can hear you.
Mine is on the experience. Recently, I've had experiences of convincing people to join network business. So, and I ruled out anything that has to do with how to press people to join. Recently, I ruled it out because it was difficult for me before. But having seen your stories and stories of successful people, I've made up my mind that I will search for that yes behind the no.
Wow.
Because I've always preached about yes.
Do you know?
Now I want to meet my all, whatever it takes. I want to.
Exactly. You will get it. Let me tell you something here. I want to say this openly to everybody here. The system we have about building our network marketing business, trust me, is a system that can tell you where I have more than 99.999% chances as in belief that anyone can succeed, because we're utilizing both online and offline. Let me give you a perfect scenario here. Mr. Edward, have I ever seen you before face to face? Have I ever seen you before? Good. Also, everyone that is here, if I've seen you here, if I've ever seen you here face to face, let me know. I remember the first time Madam Olori Gift, she just connected now. Madam Olori Gift, I remember the first time she attended the Zoom meeting. I remember the first time, I've never seen her face to face. She attended my Zoom meeting like 3-4 times. Now, watch this. Watch this. So that means that there is actually a system that can allow you, the same way like me, to reach out to people you don't even know. If you are seeing the possibility of what I'm saying, let me see, wave your hand. Because I've never met any of you. That means actually there is a system that can allow you to have people you don't even know at all and reach out to them. That means that is a proof that it's possible. And guess what? I will teach us that. So anything that has to do with my experience in the past of not being able to convince anybody or not. No. We are not here to convince people. We are here to show people. We are here to show people the way. I want you to allow every training we are receiving here to change you internally. And I promise you, the sky will be your starting point. I really want us to finish up with this training. Let's talk about belief. It's very important. Let's talk about belief. I'm going to be fast forwarding some certain parts so that we'll make sure we finish this course for today.
About yourself. And so let's carry on. Beliefs. The key to momentum in network marketing is all about belief. It's belief in network marketing. It's belief in your company. It's belief in yourself. It's even belief about other people. It's belief about the world. It's a belief about a lot of other things. And what you have to always be mindful of is if you believe that network marketing doesn't work, it's never going to work for you.
Exactly.
If you believe that your company doesn't have good recruiting tools, they're never going to work for you. If you don't believe that you're a powerful leader, you will never become one. And so again, but everything, in your success, your momentum is always going to come from belief. And so you've got to be, again, conscious to your constant programming. Next is your beliefs about yourself. And, Brian Tracy's quote, never say anything about yourself that you don't want to become true. Why did he say that? He said that because everything you say about yourself makes it more true. And, it's what do you believe about other people? Now, do you believe people are naturally lazy? Or do you believe people are naturally ambitious in their hearts? See, I believe people are naturally ambitious at their hearts. And because I've programmed myself to believe that, then that manifests itself. I have a lot more people that come around me who are very motivated and ambitious because that's what I believe about other people. If you are just always saying, well, people are so lazy, then that's what's going to manifest in your life. Now, I've built businesses all over the world, in every country just about that I've ever done business in. I've spoken to audiences in about 25 to 30 countries around the world, and people are always pulling me aside and they're saying, Matt, you don't understand people in Singapore. You don't understand people in Malaysia. They don't like network marketing. You don't understand people in South.
Now, let me explain this. Many of you will be now tell me, my friends don't like this thing. No, my friends will not like it. No, people in my area, they will not like it. Because that's when we're talking about sharing, we will start sharing from our Jerusalem. Yes, we'll start from people we know, then we not get to people we don't know. Nigerians, they don't like this business. So people in my area, they don't like it at all. When you have such belief, you will not succeed. Your belief is what charts the course of your life. Your belief about yourself, your belief about other people. So let's take note of that. Okay, it's very important.
And so what you've got to start telling yourself, even if it's not spoken, even if it's just your thought, you essentially lie to your subconscious and you start saying, money flows to me easily. Money is always flowing to me. I manifest money at will. Now, what's your belief about success? Are you destined for success? Are you born for success? And if you haven't been programmed that way, those are some of the affirmations that you want to start creating for yourself, is that I was born a champion. And now, because I really understand this, now with my children, I have an 18-month-old son, a 4-year-old daughter, and a 5-year-old daughter. And I'm aware of that external programming. And so what I'm always telling them, if I ask them, what does it mean to be a Morris? They say it means I'm a champion. I'm programming them early on to have those, positive beliefs about themselves, positive beliefs about their family. And, what do you believe about network marketing? That is a killer. If you've got a negative belief about network marketing, that's going to lead to negative results. Now, in another module, I'm going to cover network marketing, and I'm going to give you a rock solid belief on network marketing. And it's a lot of information that I don't care if you've been in network marketing for 10 years, you are going to want to have this information because you're going to want to be armed to train your people on it and prospects when they have negatives. And so here's the 3-step process to change. Number 1, it's awareness of what your belief system is. And, you have to look at yourself. And if you don't understand yourself, how can you expect to understand other people? You got to know yourself before you can really know other people. So you got to have awareness. And so once you're aware of the negative beliefs that you've been having and the negative thoughts and the negative statements that have been coming out of your mind and your mouth, step number 2 to change, it's understanding that the negative belief is nothing more than a lie. See, if you look at the middle 3 letters of belief, it's L-I-E. Beliefs are nothing more than lies we made up. Now, I'm not saying to any of the positive things or religious beliefs that you have, I'm not saying to discard those. I'm saying if it empowers you, you take those beliefs in, you accept them as reality, you accept them as truths. But the negative beliefs, the I'm not smart enough, I'm too shy, I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm the wrong color, I'm the wrong religion, I'm not a people person, I'm not charismatic, I'm not a salesperson. That's all a lie that you've made up based on experiences that you've had, based on external programming, based on internal programming. It is a lie. We just make it up based on those things. And so once you realize that the beliefs, the negative beliefs that you've had about yourself are not true, it's just something that you've made up, you just created out of thin air. See, nothing has meaning until we give it meaning.
Exactly.
Then you can go to step number 3 and you can replace the negative with positive. Now, if you failed in network marketing for 5 years, get excited, because what that means is that you are an amazing network marketer because you know what not to do. You got 5 years of building a foundation. You got a really deep foundation. You are ready to take off. So instead of saying, I'm so broke, you start saying, I'm so wealthy. And it will be weird for you. It was the negative law of consistency and commitment. And the law of consistency and commitment says that you will be amazingly committed and consistent to creating the results that you believe you deserve to have. And so, you know, that's motivation. So if you're making $50,000 a year, but you genuinely, in your heart, you really believe your identity is that of someone who earns $100,000 a year, you're going to be naturally motivated to get to $100,000 a year. Now, you can also have negative motivation, and this happens with people who, you know, they end up having some success in network marketing. They get to $100,000 a year, but they didn't work on themselves. They didn't work on their belief system. They didn't change their identity. And so they're making $100,000 a year, and they end up sabotaging themselves, and they end up getting back to the $50,000 a year at their job because they didn't see themselves as an entrepreneur. They didn't see themselves as a leader of other people. And so what are the feelings that you want to have happen? Number one, motivation always comes from your belief. You got to get yourself to feelings that you want to have. And so here are some that I have for myself. Number one is having fun. I'm always having fun. Why am I always having fun? Great situations, but I've had to just tell myself, program myself, say this out loud, think it as I'm loving every minute of it. And when I went to climb Kilimanjaro, I said, I'm going to put this to a test. And I'm going to just tell myself, whenever I know there's going to be struggle, I know it's going to be hard. Whenever I'm having struggles, I'm going to tell myself I am loving every minute of it. And what is fascinating, this helped me get through it. Ended up with altitude sickness. And if you've ever had altitude sickness, it is not any fun. It is, you feel totally lethargic, no energy at all. You know, every step is painful. You are nauseous, you're throwing up, you have a splitting headache. It feels like your brain is, splitting out of your skull. You're motivated dealing with the headache. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. No truth to it. I just choose to believe you are going to be confident. There were tests that would make me a better person, that would advance my income, that would advance and move you smile. And that made me feel happier. That made me feel.
I want us to go to the next step there, which is activity. Okay. The programming and then internal rewiring that will make us successful. So let's go to the next step, which is activity.
Better about the process. Now, the next thing is activity. Feelings lead to activities. And so, again, the simple daily disciplines, it's committing yourself that you're going to make 2-3 calls a day every day, that you're going to do some type of action every day that's going to move you forward in business. And there's been times in my career where, I wasn't blitzing, I wasn't all in, but every day I was doing something towards my success that would make me a better person, that would advance my income, that would advance my wealth, that would advance my lifestyle. And then the next one is the law of compressed activity. And I'm going to talk more about the law of compressed activity later. But the law of compressed activity says that the effort that you put in a compressed amount of time is going to pay you way more money than the same amount of effort put in over an extended period of time. So as an example,
let's understand this. Let's understand it, because this activity is one of the reasons why we are here. Okay, this activity is very, very, very powerful. You have to make up your mind to commit yourself to daily, I call it daily income generating activities. Okay, daily income generating activities, inviting, the phone calling, the following up, the sending of the text, the videos, and then everything. You must commit every single day. Becoming successful in this industry is not something you wake up in the morning and say, I feel like doing it today, and then I don't feel like doing it today. And then also remember what we call the law of what? Compressed activity. If, for example, let me give you an example. If you are giving in like 1 hour to your business every day, and that means in a month, you will have 30 hours. The law of compressed activity says, if you put in that 30 hours in 7 days, meaning every day you are putting an average of 4 hours and 30 minutes. Okay? The same 30 hours you will spend in 1 week. And the law of compressed activity says you will have more results within 7 days, putting in 30 hours compared to the person that puts up 1 hour every day for 30 days. If you understood what I just said, let me see, wave your hand. Let me see with your hand. You know what? All these principles and all this knowledge will enable you and will equip you for success. It's called a law of compressed activity. I use this law to get people to start getting results immediately. Yes. So don't worry. A time will come whereby you'll be, Mr. Nonso, it is too much now. It is too much. Haba, take it easy on us now. No. Just relax. It's because I am applying the law of compressed activity in order to get us to a place where we'll get results immediately. Okay? It's very important. Very, very important. All right? So let's continue listening because I really need us to finish up this activity. By the time we are done with the activity, we will now stop for today. So let's finish up.
If you're going to enroll 30 people, if you enroll 30 people in 1 month, that's going to earn you way more money than you enrolling 30 people over the course of a year. If you carry out your income over 5 years, you're going to earn way more money doing that in a 30-day time frame because of the law of compressed activity, because you set the bar for your team. And again, we'll talk more about that later. But what you lack in skill, you make up for in numbers. And I remember when I really got committed to network marketing, and I decided I was going to be a professional, and then I was going to work as hard as it took. My level of skill was not real high. And my mentor, my sponsor in this company, he was on a scale of 1 to 10. I believe he was a 10. I mean, it's still to this day, Wayne Nugent, my mentor, is just an unbelievable network marketer. He is as good as anyone I've ever met before. And I said, I want to make as much money as him. And I was a little bit intimidated because he was so good. He was a 10 and I was a 4, maybe not even a 4, maybe like a 3 or 3.5. And what you lack in skill, you make up for in numbers. Jim Rohn, in one of his CDs, he said, if someone else on a scale of 1 to 10, if they're 10 times better than you, you still win. How? You work 10 times harder. And so I knew if I was a 4 on that scale, if I worked 3 times as hard as he did, I could make as much money as him. And here's what happens is when you go through massive levels of activity, you end up getting really good. And the number one way to really improve your skill is actually going out and using it. It's applying the information. See, you can go through this course and still make no money. Exactly. You got to go out and apply it. See, if you take what you learn from me over the next 7 weeks, and then you go out and you massively apply what you learned from me, you will develop mastery. You're going to be so good, it is ridiculous. There's going to be, people in your upline going, oh my gosh, how did you get to be so good? You've got to go out and do it. See, there's an art and science to success in network marketing. And the science is easy. The science is the how-tos. The science is all the stuff that I'm giving you throughout this 7-week program, but the art can only be learned by going out and doing it. See, there's different closes. I'm going to give you a bunch of different ways to close people, different ways to overcome objections. And it's kind of like, well, how do I know which one to use? You do that through the art. It's Vince Lombardi, one of the greatest coaches of all time. Someone asked him, what's your key to being, this great coach? And he says, it's knowing who to pat on the back and knowing who to kick in the ass. And they said, well, how do you know who to pat on the back and who to kick in the ass? And he said, well, I kicked the ones that needed to be patted and I patted the ones who needed to be kicked long enough to learn the difference. And so that's going to be true with you. You got to go out and learn the art. And once you learn the art, combine that with the science, you are unstoppable. Now, another thing about activity is we talked about how your feelings produce the activity. Well, the activity also produces the feelings. Exactly. It's a reciprocal nature. And see, what happens is if you don't feel like going out and making the calls, what will happen if you will just go out and make some calls, you're going to feel more motivated. The first call is the hardest one to make. After the second call, it's a little easier. The third call is a little easier. By 10, 20 calls, you're in a much more motivated state. And one of the reasons why I typically stay motivated is because I always stay into action. See, an object at rest tends to stay at rest. An object at rest doesn't create a whole lot of motivation. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object in motion tends to create more motivation. And so the activity also feeds those positive feelings. Now, we're going to go through, as far as the activity, there's not that much that you actually have to go do. It's not rocket science, what we do in network marketing. We go out and we find prospects, through your warm market, through your cold market. So it's finding prospects, finding leads. Number 2 is inviting people to see your presentation.
I want you to take down these things, these fundamental activities. When we are talking about activities, okay, remember what we are learning now is the science. We've not gotten into the arts, okay? All right? Now, what is given here is actually what we call the process from which, after sharing or from sharing to people saying, yes, I'm buying a business lot. What happens in between? Okay, so when we're talking about I'm taking action, I'm actually acting on something. These fundamental activities are the basics, they are the foundation. Once you master these activities, you will fly to any height in this business. So by the time we get into the Millionaire School, that's what we're going to be learning. We're going to be learning these fundamental activities. That's what we'll be learning. Okay? Larry Waju, make sure you watch this video because I'm not sure you are with me in this training. Make sure you watch this video. I'm not sure you are with me in this training very well. I can see your video. You are very tired. You are feeling very tired. I can see that. All right, so let's take note of these 6 fundamental activities. Let's take note of that.
To see your product. Number 3, now we're going to go through, as far as the activity, there's not that much that you actually have to go do. It's not rocket science, what we do in network marketing. We go out and we find prospects, through your warm market, through your cold market. So it's finding prospects, finding leads.
So finding prospects has to do with finding people that will be interested in, so that we don't just sit down and then we're just sharing everybody you see. No. I get me. How do you find them? How do you find them? Okay. How do you find them? So finding prospects. Okay. That's the first thing in the activities.
Number 2 is inviting people to see your presentation, to see your product. Number
2 is inviting those prospects to do what? To see a presentation, either a presentation or a write-up or whatever. Okay. That's the second stage. After finding prospects, you are inviting. Okay. The third one is presenting. All right.
Is presenting. Number 4 is following up and close.
Presenting is about either showing people the recorded video. Many of you that are here, you're connected to this business today because you watched a recorded video. Yes or yes? Let me see wave your hand. You watched a recorded video. Some of you, you came to a live presentation. Okay. Now, you are not the one doing the presentation. You are not the one that have to record the video. Your duty is to invite for someone to witness the presentation, and then your duty is to do what? Is to share the video for someone to watch. Now, after presentation, there are some persons that will say, okay, I am interested. Then what happens next? You harness them. They become what? Follow up. Because remember what we are doing here, you are building an organization of people that are connected to the Economic Driver Plan 2.0. That's what you are doing. You are building an organization of people connected to the Economic Driver Plan 2.0. So we need to build with a structure. We need to build with a structure. Okay? It's very important. All right. So after following up, we get to closing. All right. So let's finish up.
Closing. Number 6 is getting people started. And then number 6 is promoting events. And,
now by the time people finally say, okay, yes, I'm buying business lots, getting people started. What am I doing for us here? I'm getting us started. What did I do yesterday? I got us started. Okay. All right. So that's very, very important. This is where we're going to be stopping for today in our Millionaire School. Now, I'm going to be sharing a folder with us so that we can have a highlight on the materials we're going to be going through. Okay. I'm going to be sharing a folder with us. There are other materials we need to listen to. Okay. It's very important we understand that, because I really want us to use this week, listen to those materials. Then by next week, Monday, we are getting into properly the Millionaire School. Okay. Let me just share the folder with us. All right, so just pay attention. Let me display the screen for us to see. All right, now, I believe you can see the screen. Now you can see all this video I just played. Now look at the one I just played today. This one I just played today. So I'm going to be sending us a video on creating a powerful you. When I'm going to compress the video, okay, because the video is quite much. Creating a powerful you. I'm going to be sending a video on core values, how to develop core values for success in your business. And I'm going to be sending the video on core purpose. So I'm going to send these 3 videos to our WhatsApp group. You have to take our time this week, listen to them, and please do not forget, you must finish my first year in network marketing from introduction to chapter 5. Remember, how many of us have started reading it? If you've started reading your first year in network marketing from introduction to chapter 5, let me see, wave your hand. You've started reading it. All right. How many of us are learning through the book? If you are learning through the book, let me see, wave your hand. Those of you reading, you must be learning. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.